Well, the euphoria has died down a little bit after last Friday's exciting win over Utah State for BYU. I'm Jared Loyd, BYU football beat writer for the Daily Herald and Cougarblue.com, here with Jason Franchuk, BYU football columnist for the Daily Herald. We're at the Monday morning press conference, and they talked a little bit about Utah State, but a lot of the questions, Jason, were about the quarterback situation. What's your take on Riley Nelson versus Jake Heaps and what you heard from today?
People here are really into quarterbacks. I don't know what this is all about. Why do people care so much? It's one guy. You got 85 guys on a team, but yeah, man, I'm telling you what, Riley, Jake, who's it going to be? I got a hunch. What do you think? I'm going to throw it back at you. We reverse this. What do you think?
I think I wouldn't be surprised if they do go with Riley, but my supposition is that they'll stick with Jake, because what they did with Riley was they brought him in and he provided that change of pace, which really worked out well. But I think Jake's chain is a little shorter. If he struggles again, I think they yank him out a little quicker and bring in that change of pace guy. But they're not going to make an announcement for a while, Jason. You know that. And it's a smart move. Make San Jose State, who BYU is playing on Saturday, make them prepare for both guys, which isn't easy to do.
Well, Bronco said he could announce this by Thursday. That Bronco's a clever guy, Jared. He doesn't meet with the media on Thursday. So I'm expecting a personal phone call to all of us, right? Or an email saying, this is what we're going to do. But it's very, very interesting. You know, I think the tough thing, we knew this last year, Jared, they're such different quarterbacks. They have such different skill sets. What do you do? But, you know, I thought what was interesting, I asked Bronco about guys after that game said they played harder when Riley came into the game. And I understand emotions are a little bit raw after the game, but they did. I thought they played harder for Riley. And there's a leadership quality he has there, that being a little bit older, he plays special teams, which Bronco brags about. I don't think Jake has that charisma with this team yet. He certainly has a lot of talent, but Riley provides some tools. You could also talk about his limitations, but I think he's the guy right now that kind of has a fire under that team, and somehow Jake needs to learn from that on how to be on a genuine level with those guys.
Well, and I think you're right, and it's an interesting situation for the BYU coaching staff to be in, because I don't know if either guy at the moment is in the BYU mold of the guy that can really step in and really fire everyone's imagination. They're playing a San Jose State team this weekend. Pretty good team. Went out and beat Colorado State last week. Maybe a little bit better than the San Jose State teams they've played in the past. So this isn't going to be a game where either one can necessarily come in, put up 350 yards passing. If Riley is in, he'll get 100 yards rushing. I don't know if this is that type of game. A little bit easier than the teams they have faced, but still, it's going to be a challenge for this team.
Well, what's interesting is I looked at that schedule when it came out, and you think, you get to this point, who would have thought that San Jose State, Oregon State, Idaho would be any kind of threat to this program right now? But BYU seems to like close games, and I don't know if BYU, I would have thought a month ago, would be winning these games by 3 touchdowns, and maybe Riley plays more just because you're bringing in the second string guys. But this is a program in flux right now. The defense did not tackle very well against Utah State, gave up a ton of rushing yards. Granted, Robert Turbin is a special back, but some other guys had some good games. And then offensively, there's still so much that's just not happening for this program like they thought. It seems like every time they take a little step forward, they take one back. But a 90-yard drive cures a lot of ills last week. But going forward, it's going to be very interesting. I think this will say a lot about the futures of Brandon Doman, Bronco Mendenhall, Riley Nelson, and Jake Heaps as far as how do they manage this situation again.
Well, and it's going to be a tough situation. Late game on Saturday. We're going to be over at LaVell Edwards Stadium for an 8:15 kickoff.
Take a nap.
We're going to be writing real fast there at the end of the game, trying to get our stuff done. But you can read all of what we write on Cougarblue.com. Also on Herald, we'll be in the Daily Herald with all of our stuff. Exciting week. A lot of interest in BYU right now to see what they're going to do with this quarterback situation. We're just going to have to wait and see.